10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
HVB discharge nominal.
And that is a beautiful liftoff for Electron. The final 2 TROPICS satellites are on their way and coming to a storm near you. With Electron now having cleared the pad, the next milestone is max Q. This is the point where the forces on Electron are at their greatest. So we'll listen out for clearance of that key moment from Mission Control soon.
Max Q. Clear max Q.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
And there we have it. Electron has passed through max Q and continues on the way to space. Right now, Electron is travelling at over 2,000 kilometres per hour and is at an altitude of 20 kilometres.
Now, coming up next is main engine cutoff, or MECO, where the 9 Rutherford engines on Electron's first stage shut down to make way for separation between the first and second stages. Within seconds, the single space-optimised Rutherford engine on the second stage will ignite to carry the kick stage and the TROPICS satellites all the way to orbit. That should take place shortly at around T plus 2.5 minutes. So let's listen in to that call from Mission Control.
Stage 1 propulsion still nominal. Please stand by for MECO in roughly 30 seconds.
$15 seconds to MECO.
AOS at Chatham Station.
Entered burnout to tech mode.
And MECO confirm.
Stage separation successful.
Stage 2 ignition.
And just like clockwork, we have had MECO, Stage 1 and Stage 2 separation and ignition of Electron's second stage. Coming up very shortly, we'll also see Electron's fairing separate and fall away. These 2 carbon composite halves form a protective nose cone over the TROPICS satellites, keeping them safe during ascent. Once we're in space, though, they're not needed as the forces on Electron are not nearly as great. So we can get rid of them and clear the way for payload separation. Now, for this mission, because we're headed to that 550-kilometre circular orbit straight away with Stage 2, we're leaving the fairing attached just a little bit longer than usual. That jettison event should be coming up in the next 20 seconds or so.
This is nominal.
Separation successful.
And that's fairing separation confirmed. We are at 4 minutes into flight now, and coming up next is a process unique to Electron, battery hotspot.
The pumps on Electron's Rutherford engines are powered by Electron pumps, which draw their energy from batteries. Once we deplete the batteries, they are dead weight that we don't want to carry all the way to orbit, so we eject the batteries and swap over to a fresh set in flight. That milestone is coming up just before 7 minutes into the flight, so still a ways to go yet. So far for today's mission, we've had a perfect liftoff. We've cleared max Q, had a good first stage burn, and separation of Electron's first and second stages. Fairing has also separated as planned, and now we're 5 minutes into the mission.
So far, a nominal mission for Coming to a Storm Near You, the second of 2 dedicated launches to deploy a storm monitoring constellation for NASA.
Stage 2 propulsion still holding nominal.
Guidance is nominal, 200 seconds remaining.
Now we're coming up on that all-important battery hot swap. Powering engines with batteries is one of the things that makes the Rutherford engine special. The single Stage 2 engine requires a longer duration than the Stage 1 engines, so we have to hot swap the spent batteries to a third fresh one. This is one of the final gates to orbit, so let's listen into the operators in mission control for that call.
Nominal, approaching hot swap. Throttling down.
So we throttle down just before hot swap, so that we're not lose so much power with the 2 batteries.
Hot swap successful.
And there you have it, a
Propulsion is
clean
nominal.
hot swap for the second
That
stage
engine is
Rutherford
different.
engine. Electron continues to orbit with around 2 minutes remaining in today's Stage 2 burn.
Speed is good, altitude is good, Electron is good, T plus 7 minutes into the second TROPICS mission for NASA. Just in time for the Atlantic hurricane season commencing at the start of June, these 2 CubeSats, along with the 2 that we launched just 18 days ago, will provide members of the meteorological community with hourly returns over the same storm to more accurately predict patterns, which could save the lives and livelihoods of millions of people.
T plus 8 minutes in, and we are now around 30 kilometres away from that 550 kilometre target orbit. As George mentioned in the video earlier, this Stage 2 burn is taking us all the way to a circular orbit. Then we have that dogleg inclination change just over the equator to put us in the correct plane for payload deployment coming up at 33 minutes into the mission. Electron is continuing well at speeds of over 19,000 kilometres per hour, ahead of SECO and kick stage separation.
SECO stands for second engine cutoff, and you'll know when the second stage completes its burn because the nozzle glowing bright orange on your screen right now will turn back to grey as it cools down after the engine shuts off. Immediately after that shutdown, Electron's kick stage separates from the second stage, and in around 1 minute the Curie engine will ignite and begin that plane change manoeuvre ahead of payload deployment. Again, mission control will call out these actions, so let's listen in for confirmation of SECO.
SECO confirm.
Stage 3 separation confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
And that is SECO confirmed as planned. The kick stage has also cleanly separated, ready for that final Curie burn in around 20 minutes from now, followed by payload deployment at T plus 33 minutes. Because this final burn and deployment of the TROPICS CubeSats happens in a ground station blackout zone, we won't get live confirmation of those milestones. We also won't have live video footage of the deployment process, so here's a quick animation to show you what will be happening in orbit just 25 minutes from now. Since we won't have live coverage of payload deployment, we'll take a short break from the broadcast and join you again in around T plus 45 minutes to provide an update on deployment and to confirm mission success. We'll leave mission control comms up during this coast phase so you can hear it as soon as it happens. We'll be back with you soon.